Technology that listens is technology that responds to individual information needs. One example is Infonet's budget tracking platform, which allows people to send free SMS inquiries about the allocation of funding for development projects in their local area. Citizens can then contact social watch groups to assess if funds have been spent in the way that was intended.
The context here is that we developed a system that uses shortcut SMSs, and we get people sending in queries about the amounts of money that have been allocated for projects at a local level. It's a two-way process because they query the system at the same time they feed the system with content.
Infonet's budget tracking platform has led to a number of discoveries of misused funds. By leaking these findings to government and mainstream media, Infonet has been able to ensure that corruption has been addressed and citizen efforts have been rewarded with action. Recent developments have greatly increased the ways technology can listen and respond to people's needs.
The phone used to be something that was controlled by the telecommunications monopolies. And over the last few years, there's been a whole sort of renaissance in telephony technology that's built around voice over IP. You can now run your own phone company on free software. What that means is you can do all of the creative call center and interactive voice menus and that kind of stuff on your own phone system or on your own home computer. So many activist groups will now set up a call-in line.
Using their own phone system, the Kubatana Trust of Zimbabwe developed a platform that ensured citizens were informed via an SMS about where they could vote in government elections.
In Zimbabwe, we've had many elections over the last 7 or so years. One of the government's tactics was to make it difficult for people to work out where to vote, and indeed to register to vote even. But one of the things that we did was to help people find out where to vote by cooperating with another organization that had managed eventually to get the voters' roll into a database format. We got people to send us their national registration IDs using SMS. We compared those IDs against this database, and then we SMS back to the people where they could vote. It was a very interesting campaign. A lot of people took advantage of it.
While thousands of people used this system developed by the Kubatana Trust, the experience showed that lack of literacy and language differences continued to limit people's use of SMS services. To address this, Kubatana are now developing Freedom Fone, a system that uses voice recognition rather than text to provide people with information.
The Freedom Fone project is being built out so that each group can take a copy of the software and run it on their own system and simply provide the menus of what kind of information they're going to access and provide. Freedom Fone registers that they called, and the phone system calls them back. So the organization is able to cover all the costs.
There is a tool that has been overlooked, I think, by the development sector, and that's the area of interactive voice response. We believe that if we can make this an easier device to use by nonprofits, that we will see people reach out to their communities using dial-up information services, which would become almost the poor person's equivalent of the internet, being able to dial up for information when you need it.
Designing and using technologies that can listen to people's needs and respond quickly can be a good way to quickly address immense gaps in information and improve information flows.